Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar session. My name is Anissa Mamashad. I will be moderating today's webinar. Today's program is part of the international collaborations on academic activities between the Department of Town and Regional Planning, UiTM Cawangan Perak, Sri Iskandar Campus, Malaysia, and Arsitektur Study Program, Aisyah University, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. This webinar program entitled Planner and Architect, Sustainable Development and Social Wellbeing. The chosen theme stems from the acknowledgement that both town planners and architects play a crucial, significant and fundamental role in managing and governing built environment. Albeit operating on the common concept of sustainable development, however, orientation, focus and skill are being viewed differently by both planners and architects. Against the background, this webinar is designed to explore, dismantle and operationalize the sustainable development concept from the views of planners and architects, which the ultimate objective is to elevate the social well-being and habitat. For viewers' information, prior to today's virtual program, there were workshops and talks given by both lecturers and students from the Department of Town and Regional Planning, UiTM Perak, during the academic visits at UNISA on 17th to 22nd of June 2019. There was also a webinar talk from both university students on 14th, 21st and 28th of September 2020. Now we come to the main activity of today's program. Before we start the session, I would like to outline the today's presentation format. We have 4 speakers and a video presentation. A speaker from UNISA and 3 from UiTM Cawangan Perak. Each presenter is given 15 minutes only. After 10 minutes, the presenter will be notified with 5 minutes left time notice. For those who want to pose questions, please do so via our Facebook live streaming platform. However, please take note that the questions posted shall be delivered to speakers' attention only at the end of the session, which is after all the speakers have delivered their presentations. To all the presenters, please strictly observe the time given. So our first topic today, entitled Study on Sustainable Environmental Impact Management Planning for Cabin Hotel. This topic will be delivered by Ibu Hapsari Wahyuningsih. I will provide a brief academic bibliography of the presenter. She is a lecturer at UNISA Yogyakarta, graduated from UGM for master's degree in Architecture and Tourism Planning. Her experience in the field of higher education and research started on 2012 till now. Her focus is on projects and research related to architecture and environment. Well, that is a brief information about our first speaker. The summary of her research. Okay, management of the environmental impact of hotel buildings, especially the type of hotel cabin, must be in accordance with the capabilities and carrying capacity of the environment. This study aims to find out sustainable environment impact management planning that is in accordance with the capabilities and carrying capacity of the surrounding environment, especially in cabin hotel type buildings. Research variables include 2 main parameters. Parameter 1 is the scale of activity, and parameter 2 are the environmental impacts that are caused. Without further ado, I would like to call upon our first presenter, Ibu Hapsari Wahyuningsih.
Yeah, okay.
Ibu Hapsari?
Yeah, thank you, our moderator. For the first, I want to share my slide. Okay, can you see my slide? Hello, Ibu moderator, can you see my slide?
Not yet.
Not yet. No?
Okay.
Is it clear?
Okay, clear
Okay,
already.
yeah, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning for all speaker and also Ibu Moderator and Ibu Aprodita as a head of Arsitektur study program in UNISA. For this morning, I want to share my study at 2018. It's about study on sustainable environmental impact management planning for cabin hotel. This is my CV. I want to bypass it. Study in 2018 and was carried out when the building was built. So the study was conducted also monitoring of environmental impact when the hotel operated. At the left, this is the hotel design at the design engineering design detail engineering design hotel at 2018. And from the right picture, you can see the building now at 2020. This is the cabinet visited Surakarta, mostly in Indonesia. There is a cabin hotel like Semarang, Jogja, Solo, even Jakarta and Bogor. From one hotel is a franchise hotel in Indonesia, and they have two types of hotel, types of cabin hotel, and it's a budget hotel and also hotel. It's like a airport hotel and also boutique hotel for this front one cabin hotel Selamat Riyadi is a budget hotel type, and it's depend on guest stay. They are backpacker, mostly backpacker, and then they always individual, mostly individual, but maybe in group they are a small group, and they mostly have short trips, night or night, and then the main characteristic of the guest characteristic from one cabin hotel is they use public transportation, so they not bring their transportation, so they maybe they use online transportation. There's two types of the room from one cabin hotel. The first type of room is cabin business class. It's more small room than the cabin first class. They from the both of them have the same facilities, Wi-Fi, water, and, but bed. First floor, there's only a parking area for the management person, and then lobby or front office, and then there is a mini bar and also management office, and this total building area for the first floor, it's about 27% with total site 108 square meter. The restaurant, because of the size and the facilities they are provided, they are not provide the main meal or heavy meal. They only provide a snack like bread, sandwich, and also the regular drink, hot and tea. And this hotel also have a laundry services for the guests but they also have a partner for all these services, so they are not doing for itself. You can see from the interior design, it's too compact, small area, compact size, and then from the tile, you can see that for parking area, it's only 35%, and then for open space, only 38%. Okay, let's we go to the second floor, third floor, and fourth floor. For the total room from this hotel, there are 29 rooms, which is the second floor. There is 10 rooms. One room is the first class type, and then 9 room is the business type room. And for the third floor, there is 11 rooms. Room is the first class type room, and 10 room as a business classroom. And for the fourth floor, there is 9 rooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 room as a first class, and then the other as a business class. We see from this slide that the room size is too small. For the cabin business class is only 3 meter by 2.5 meter. It's about 7.5 square meter. And for the cabin first class is only 3 meter by 3.2 meter. It's about 9.6 square meter. So it's too tiny, it's too small for the size of the room size room hotel. Okay. Environmental impact management and monitoring planning is divided into 3 stages. The first stage I call it tahap prakonstruksi, is the stage before the hotel is built, and then the second stage I call it tahap konstruksi, is when the building process, and the third stage is when hotel operate with operational. And for this study, I want to share about the third, especially at the third stage is operational. And this study also adopted from the government regulation, which is from Ministry of Environment, Kementerian Lingkungan Hidup. And this study also adapted from the local government regulation, Peraturan Wali Kota Surakarta. This is the framework of this study. There are variable, scale of activity as a variable, and then environmental impact as indicators. And from variable indicator, we can see we can know the recommendation of environmental impact and also for the. This is the variable and also indicator. There are 9 variables in this study. The first variable is building and site. The second variable is equipment and machine that use electrical, and the third variable is electricity consumption, and also maybe solar consumption or the other fuels. Maybe it's for genset, yeah. And then fourth variable is for hotel services, and fifth variable is for hotel or hotel employees. The sixth variable is consumption of the water, include liquid waste. And then the seventh variable is the waste or garbage. And the eighth variable is the plan of water conservation and also green open space. And the last variable is a parking area. And now we go to the right side is the indicator in this study. There are 8 in this study. The first indicator is decrease in air quality and noise disorder. And second indicator is decrease in water quality. And for the third is decrease in water quality and increase in water runoff. And the fourth indicator is quality of garbage. And the fifth is about fire hazard. And the sixth indicator is traffic disorder. And the seventh indicator is opportunity for work. And the last indicator is environment safety and security. Now we can see the correlation between the variable and indicator in this study. The correlation between variable and indicator is illustrated in the diagram. You can see at the orange side. You can see that the first variable correlated with the first until third indicator. And for the second and third variable, it's correlated with the fire hazard indicator. And the fourth and fifth variable correlated with the opportunity for indicator. For the water consumption variable correlated with the third indicator. And for the waste and garbage variable correlated with quantity of waste, also garbage indicator. And for the variable correlated with the environment safety and security indicator. And then the last variable correlated with the traffic disorder indicator, also environment safety and security indicator. This is the result for the quantity analysis. For the first variable, building and site, we know that the total site is about 138 square meter. And for the size of the building in the first floor, it's about 85.4 square meter. For the second floor, it's about 117.4 square meter. It's about 25% for the whole building size. And then for the it's about 119.7 square meter. And then for the fourth floor, it's about 100. It's the same size with the third floor. And for rooftop, there are 20.3 square meter. It's about only 4% for the building total area. And for the second variable, it's equipment and machine used with electrical. In the first floor, there is 5 unit, only 5 machines, electricity. It's like a computer, air conditioning, server, sound system, and the others. And for at the there's 20 unit, include TV each room, and also for the others. And for the third variable, for the electricity consumption and solar consumption maybe, or the other fools, 33 kVA, and for the genset is about 44 kVA. For the hotel services, there are rooms only. I said before that restaurant or minibar only provide the some snack and then the regular drink, and for the laundry they are not doing, but they the other partner. And then for the employees in this hotel, there are only 10 employees, one as the general manager, one administrator, 2 receptionists, 2 person as waiters, 2 person as housekeeping, and 2 person as security. And for the sixth variable, water consumption, it's depend on occupancy rate 100%. It's about 4.8 meter cubics each day. It's a count from 30 beds and also for water consumption from domestic employments, and also for cleaning services, and also water consumption for the environment. And then for the sustainable waste or garbage, it's counted from the total bed employees. Also for the hazardous and toxic waste, it will be managed by partner that have the from government. Limbah B3 in Indonesia, it's called limbah B3. And in eight conservation and green filtration well, it's no O unit, and then deep infiltration well, it's only 1 unit, and then for lubang body in Indonesia, they have 3 unit, and also they will as and last for the parking area, they don't provide it because it's very depend on the guest characteristic. Like I said before, the guests mostly not bring their own transportation, but they use the transportation. Okay, from this table, we know that variable and also indicator, and then we can analyze that we know source of impact, type of impact, and then scale of impact. And know about environmental impact management and environmental impact monitoring. I will pass it. This is the result. To many indicators and to many variables. So I wanna share the example from the result. From the decrease of the surface water, from impact operational from the hotel, water consumption, for the gas, for the environment, and also for the environment. And of the impact, you can see in the slide, and then scale of impact, you can see how many scale of impact it will be happen. And then from the right table, you can see how and also it must be done and who is the person in charge. In here, the person in charge is the owner of the hotel. They must to check the quality of the water every 6 months when the hotel operates. And then they must to report to the local government, especially to Dinas Lingkungan Hidup. Okay, I think it's over because this is a study from the regulation. So this study is done as a policy paper dan sudah disidangkan sidang kelayakan di lingkungan Kota Surakarta at 2019. But for the version of full article, you can download at the NALARS. NALARS is one of journal arsitektur from Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta as a national accredited journal, Sinta 2, and you can download this. I think this is the end of my share, and I wanted to back to Ibu Moderator. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Hapsari, for sharing your intellectuality thoughts with us. Again, I would like to remind the audience who wants to post questions, please do so at the YouTube comment. The speakers will address the questions after all the 4 keynotes delivered their presentations. In your questions, please state your name and from which department and country you are. Well, now we come to the second topic, which will be presented by Dr. Kamariah Abdullah. Her topic entitled Community-Based Conservation for Mangrove Sustainability and Social Well-Being. A quick bibliography of Dr. Kamariah Abdullah. She obtained a PhD from University Technology Mara, specialized in built environment on 2019. Okay, her area of specialization are physical planning, land use planning, and environmental planning and management. Well, that is a brief information about our speaker. Summary of her research: the local communities and stakeholders' participation is viewed as the key to the success of CBC approach because they have the power to influence. Once the local people recognize the benefits and the importance of the mangrove in ensuring sustainable environment, the feasibility of the rehabilitation program can be carried out with minimum technical guidance in the future. There are many factors that lead to the success of CBC approach. Both the association and the community, as well as the government and NGOs, need to work together in ensuring the sustainability of the mangrove area. Without further ado, over to you, Dr. Kamariah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, Madam Moderator, Puan Anissa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to all the distinguished speakers and all the participants. Okay, let me share my slide first. Okay, can you see my slide? Madam Anissa, can you see my slide?
Very clear. Yes. Yes, very clear.
Very clear. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My topic for today presentation is community-based conservation for mangrove sustainability and social well-being. Okay. Okay, this is my outline for today's covered by mangrove degradation, what is community degradation, the theoretical aspects of CBC approach, relationship between sustainable development goals and CBC approach, the mangrove for environmental and social well-being, some case studies on CBC implementation in Malaysia, the benefits and the challenges of the mangrove. Okay, the degradation of mangrove normally in all over the world, and in for example in 2016 UNEP give a statistic that 67 of the global mangrove areas in the world have been lost to a few factors, particularly from the natural disasters such as the tsunami in 2004, illegal logging, urbanization, tourism development, resort and so on, including the developments for housing, the coastal erosion and also for agriculture activities. Some of the researchers also found that the loss of mangrove degradation was up to 4 times compared to the upland forest area. examples of the degradation in the Southeast area, Southeast Asia. Okay, Asia actually covered 40% of the global hotspots mangrove area located in the world. So one of the examples here is Java, Indonesia. Most of the mangrove degradation in Indonesia is changing to the agricultural activities. For the Philippines, the mangrove degradation is due to the of actually for the new housing area. In Malaysia also, we have facing a mangrove degradation. For example, in Penang, the mangrove area is changed to for oil palm plantation. In Myanmar, the mangrove area is changed to the rice paddy. And some like Vietnam and Singapore, the factor of mangrove degradation is comes from the urbanization area, new urban area. Okay. So in 1990s, the environmentalists realized that the mangrove is lost in the world. So they are introducing the community-based conservation approach. So this approach is one of the best solution in the area of environmental problem in the coastal area. So community-based conservation. Okay, community-based conservation is one of the approach that can allow to actively critical roles and responsibility in controlling the natural resources. So this can be communities participate in terms of the development in their area that might be diminished that's for the communities. This is one of the community can formulate the policies and the land use development from the bottom-up approach, meaning this approach is one of the opportunities that the local peoples can manage and formulate the policy from their local level up to the management and decision maker levels. Okay, CBC approach is considered as a collaborative management that mix 5 groups of stakeholders. We have 5 stakeholders here that run together or work together to make sure the successful of the community-based conservation. The first groups is from the government, such as from the also from the town and planning department. Yeah, okay. And the second stakeholders that lead the mangrove rehabilitation program is from the NGO and ENGOs. These NGOs is actually active NGOs that bring the ideas to the local communities to set up the community-based conservation to their area. Okay, the third stakeholders is the cooperation or business. These stakeholders is normally involve the community-based conservation through their corporate responsibility. Participants in the area of rehabilitation and together with the local community, they run the by the forestry department. Okay, the fourth stakeholders is academician and scientists. This group is quite important to get successful on rehabilitation. This group is normally share the ideas, share the a new methodology and in the mangrove rehabilitation that sometimes is different compared to the one area to the another area. Then scientists also have knowledge, new method to new findings about the species of the mangrove can be share the knowledge with the community on the and also for the participant in the specific program. Okay, and then the local community is the specific groups that run the mangrove rehabilitation in their area, which community-based conservation. Meaning the local community must have the specific or the special association to in their area to run the program of the mangrove rehabilitation. So all the stakeholders here is sharing their powers and responsibility to make sure that the area of the mangrove rehabilitation is considered a right area, and the mangrove is the best species that need to replanting at the specific area. Okay, study on CBC approach actually can be divided into three major aspects that we call as theoretical factors of CBC based on the previous research. Okay, the first aspects on the first factor for the CBC studies is under the ecological factors. Ecological factors is mainly consisting of the study on the quality of flora and fauna, and also the biological species. This study is normally from scientists or the environmentalists. Okay, this we can have a knowledge or runs analysis all the quality of flora and fauna that we need the data from the environmentalists. Okay, the second factor in CBC approach is normally to rehabilitation programs. So there are a few factors in study on international, such as the monitoring and to the local peoples that willing or that in the rehabilitation. Okay, the factors is normally the tracks and the conflicts of commitment, the economy and cost and benefit, and the self-organization. Psychological factors in the one of important factors in, need to be studied in Malaysia because we actually not really know how the local people is ready in the mangrove rehabilitation. Some such as Gula is the local people is quite quite know about the rehabilitation program because the program is running fully by the local organisation. But some area in Malaysia, the local people is quite not really ready to involve because the program is very running in their area or none program in the area. So the study on psychology is one of the aspects need to be considered in the CDC approach. This is examples of this is the framework of relationship between sustainable development goals and community-based conservation. Okay, for mangrove rehabilitation program. Okay, the sustainable goal is the main objective for community-based approach. So all the program under the sustainable goal in forest area we call as coastal resource management program, and the coastal resource management programs divided into two big areas which is a marine protected areas and by okay for any management program. Okay, and the from the two big areas for mangrove rehabilitation program, we can consider we can go to the two programs, which is one of the program we call as mangrove rehabilitation or mangrove replanting, and the other one is the mangrove reforestation program. The mangrove rehabilitation and replanting is normally in the small scale programs, which is involved by the community and the public. And the mangrove reforestation program is the big area for reforestation. So this area for reforestation actually run and controlled by the forestry department. So under this program, this replanting and rehabilitation program, normally introduce normally the local people can involve. The program is under community-based approach. So community-based approach for mangrove rehabilitation can be analysis, can be analyze the data, the factor of the contribute to the successful based on the interviews by key informant interviews, or from the focus group discussion, or from the surveys, public surveys or household survey, and from the observation. So these four methods of data collection is actually to know how the readiness of the community, local community, And the observation also is important to know what is the actually happen to this area that need to be run the rehabilitation. So the other approach beside the community-based is science-based approach. Science-based approach actually run by the scientists or the commission that needs some of detailed knowledge, detailed input and detailed current
Excuse me,
situation
Dr.
of the
K.
site based
Excuse me, Dr.
based on
K.
the GIS mapping and the biological science and
Dr.
biodiversity features.
K.
And the other approach is the integrated approach.
Dr.
Okay,
K.
the sustainable community-based conservation approach also have a relationship to the SDG. For example, and is under the SDG 14, which is life below water. This SDG target is to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources for sustainable development. Okay, one of the target is under target 14.1 is to reduce marine pollution
Dr.
from
Kamaria.
the ocean breeze, from the solid waste, from the oil pollution and
Dr.
so on.
Kamaria.
Yeah,
The time it's already 15 minutes. Past
okay.
15 minutes. Okay.
This time is very limited. Okay, so I
Okay.
share
Can you
one and two slide already. Okay, this slide, this graphic is shows how the mangrove and community-based conservation support the social and environmental well-being, especially for the recreational, spiritual, timber and forest. So also for the healthy mangrove contribute to the sea of fisheries area. So as well as the climate regulations, shoreline stabilization and coastal protection. Okay, for the one of the examples, a mangrove rehabilitation program is in Kuala Gula, Perak. That this area is run. The program is 100% by the local association, which is Sabang Sahabat Hutan Bakau and the Global Environmental Center. So this area, the members of this area is involved as workers and also the facilitators in the mangrove rehabilitation area. This site is actually special because there are a specific site in the community forest that the Sahabat Hutan Bakau and GEC sharing with the forestry department to choose which the specific area run the forest mangrove habitation. That normally this area is having a severe erosion from the big wave and the storm area. So we can see participants from outsiders come to this year by boats and they enjoy the rehabilitation. The other one, mangrove rehabilitation is in Kuala Sepetam, but this area is quite different with Kuala Gula because the mangrove rehabilitation is run by the local contractor, but the local communities is still involved as a supplier for the mangrove seedling, and they are paid by contractor.
Dr. K.
This is an activity for in Kuala Sepetam, yeah. Okay.
Dr. K, 2 more
So the
minutes.
benefit of CBC is actually to help to reduce the level of poverty, that opportunities from the local peoples to join the part-time jobs from the seedling, make a seedling of mangrove and also in the side of mangrove rehabilitation. The community also can actively participate and greater responsibility and increase the community interest and experience in sustaining mangrove area. So, however, we have a few challenges in mangrove rehabilitation, such as the mangrove management, which is we have 24% coastal area of mangrove exposed without any legal protection, meaning might be the encroachment of the area still happen in this area. Okay, the mangrove area also is competing with the land use demand and socio-economic development. The challenges also in maintaining the healthy mangrove area because exposed to the rapid development of external pollution and solid waste. The local community in some area not really participate in the CBC program, and last one is the external threats due to the long perimeters of the boundaries. So as a conclusion, mangrove forests provide a wide range of vital ecosystem for the global and also for the local environment. The local association of mangrove rehabilitation such as Sahabat Hutan Bakau is a key success of the mangrove rehabilitation program together with the stakeholders participation in CBC approach. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Kamaria, thank you for your informative presentation. Well, our third speaker is Dr. Muhammad Firdaus Azali. Okay, he will be delivering a topic entitled UNESCO World Heritage Site Georgetown, Penang as a benchmark for heritage city in Malaysia, best practice and governance. Dr. Muhammad Firdaus is a PhD holder in urban geography and metropolitan from University Science Malaysia on 2018. His area of specializations are sustainable cities and communities, Islamic planning and development, urban geography and metropolitan, heritage planning, development and conservation. Okay, well, that a brief information about our speaker. The summary of his research: Georgetown is a remarkable examples of historic colonial towns on the Straits of Malacca that demonstrate a succession of historical and cultural influences arising from their former function as trading ports linking east and west. These are the most complete surviving historic city centers on the Straits of Malacca with a multicultural living heritage originating from the trade routes from Great Britain and Europe through the Middle East, the Indian subcontinent and the Malay archipelago to China. It is a testimony to a living multicultural heritage and tradition of Asia where the many religions and cultures meet and coexisted. They reflect the coming together of cultural elements from the Malay archipelago, India and China with those of Europe to create a unique architecture, culture and townscape. Without further ado, the floor is yours, Dr. Muhammad Firdaus.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thank you, Puan Moderator, Puan Anissa, my fellow friends in Malaysia and also Indonesia. Thank you for having me and for giving me this opportunity to be here in the UiTM International Collaboration Virtual Program. So my topic today is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Georgetown, Penang as a benchmark for the city in Malaysia, best practice and governance. By the way, can you see the slide? All right.
Clear, very clear.
All right. Okay, this is a brief introduction about my presentation today. I have an introduction, the urban morphology of Georgetown, Penang, Georgetown as UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 4, in terms of urban heritage management of Georgetown, Penang, and then the conclusion. Okay, as northwest known for the rich heritage and architecture, vibrant multicultural society, entertainment, literature choice, natural prestige, and also the world's famous Georgetown has been recorded as a listing a UNESCO World Heritage Site by UNESCO. In terms of the urban morphology of Georgetown was successfully under the colonial administration of English East India Company EIC on 1786 till 1858, and then followed by British, and then it ended over 200 years of colonial rules until Malaya independence on August 31st, 1957. Yet, as in the colonial context, the urban morphology affected by both global and also the regional factor, including of the tradings, migration, culture, urban plannings, and construction, which are clearly a unique character of Penang in the context of Georgetown. So, in the form of environment role in the shaping the image of the city and its surrounding area. As you can see, map is an urban growth of Penang Island from 1840 till 90. This is tremendous changes of the urbanizations. All right, in the early colonial periods, in the late 18th century, in June 1786, Francis Light seized the Penang from the Kedah on behalf of the English East India Company as found in North State of Malacca. After he landed and occupied the island on August 11th, he renamed the island as a Prince of Wales, Penang construction and economic development from starting that day. And in the early stage of Georgetown, EIC direct investment in Georgetown was at the local and state level was the urban growth. Potentially, the urban growth was the direct expression of an essential entire society. The port laid a solid foundation for the industrial development and then the urban construction. Okay, in terms of the process of land subdivision and building was started. The sprawl of the on the periphery of the town area, the jungle condition to the village, plantation, and idyllic suburb. In the town center area, commerce and population were treated in the port area. As you can see in the map, it's clearly stated that all the demand around the port area. All right. So urban area was limited in the rectilinear great iron plant area in Georgetown begin in the 19th century was a major force in urbanization. Okay, in the 20th century, thousands of Chinese houses were built all in a town. However, the depression of B Street in 1969, government promulgated new strategies concerned with the economic revival, turned to the very commercial area for the internet factory and the new township. Into the bank area and also in terms of the commercial activity. And then the physical setting shaped the key feature of the modern in Georgetown. As you can see in the picture, all the development are near to the port area and near to the sea area. Okay, Georgetown as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The encryption in the UNESCO World Heritage Site was based on outstanding universal values. After this, and then it's also the buffer zone with the total and then the cost zone is hectare 1,000 historic building within this core. Okay, the criteria selection for the site is based on the outstanding user value. There are 10 three elements. Okay, Georgetown has been selected because it's meet the criteria number 2, number 3, number 4. For the criteria number 2, exhibit an interchange of human values over a span of time or within a culture of the world, on in architecture or technology, ornamental arts, town planning or landscape design. So in the context of Georgetown, Georgetown represents an exceptional example of multi-cultural trading town in East and Southeast and exchange of land, three colonial power for almost each with its imprint the architecture and urban form, technology and monumental art. It shows different stage of development and the success over a long span of time and thus complementary. And then criteria which is to bear a unique or at least to a cultural tradition or to a civilization which is living or which has been disappeared. So in the context of Georgetown, giving testimony to the multicultural heritage and tradition of Asia and colonial influences. Its multicultural tangible and intangible expressed in a great variety of religious buildings of different faiths, ethnic quarters, many language, worship and religious festival, dance, costumes, art and music, and also daily life. Okay, criteria number 4, to be an outstanding example of a type of building, architecture or technological example, a significant stage in the context of Georgetown. Georgetown reflects a mixture of sources which are create a unique architecture, culture, and town anywhere in East or even in South Asia. Georgetown demonstrates an exceptional range of shophouses and townhouses. These buildings show many different types and stages of the building type. Some of the buildings are originating in the Dutch or Portuguese period during the colonization. Okay, in terms of the urban heritage management in Georgetown, system of urban governance that are based on sound, transparent and accountable process can go a long way in making it inclusive. Good urban governance involves participatory decision making. It's not only involve the but also the civil society in terms of economic and social actor, community, media. This that use they are two main body who are control and manage the city. In the focus of this area is City Council of Penang Island and also the Georgetown World Heritage Incorporated (GTWHI). In the context of City Council of Penang, which is Majlis Bandaraya Pulau Pinang, the Municipal Council of Penang was established on 15 November 1976 under the Local Government Act 1976 and elevated to the City Council on 1st January 2015. The administration consists of a mayor and also 24 councillors who are appointed by the state government under the Local Government Act 76. The councillors for a 1-year term, and the mayor today is AR Yu Tong Siang. In terms of the heritage management, is clearly stated in the vision and also in the objective. They are focusing on heritage management, as you can see in the harmonious and progressive city, as well as maintaining a unique culture, heritage, and natural beauty 2020. And also in the objective, objective number 5, which is improve the quality of living culture, preserve the heritage, and encourage community participation.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Firdaus, for the informative presentation. Okay, due to the technical problem, okay, we are sorry because the YouTube viewer will have the problem in video and the sound system. Now we come to fourth speaker. Now we come to fourth speaker, Dr. Muhammad Azal Fikri Ali. Okay, Dr. Muhammad Azal Fikri Ali will be presenting the topic entitled Rural Economic Challenges on COVID-19 Pandemic Crisis. A brief bibliography of Dr. Muhammad Azal. He obtained his PhD in Urban and Regional Planning, University Technology Malaysia in 2019. Rural services, rural and rural tourism. Well, that is the brief information about our speaker. Summary of his research. Coronavirus disease, COVID-19 pandemic has spread to almost every nation and sent shock waves to various sectors, including the rural economic sector after countries are being forced into strict quarantine and lockdown. Based on finding, almost 64% farmers were not able to sell their product. 48% have distribution constraints and only 17% normal operating capacity during the lockdown policy. Moreover, it seems to strike the food production system and food value chain. Such travel restriction had affected every stage of agriculture production and food supply chain with a major impact on food distribution. Malaysia has also taken the necessary preventive measures to reduce the impact and several initiatives covering this with emphasis given to support the rural economy. Well, that is the quick bibliography on Dr. Muhammad Azal. Now the floor is yours, Dr. Azal. Dr. Azal, Dr. Azal, please pause for a while. We can't hear your voice, so please pause for a while. Hold on. Okay.
Okay, nampak tak?
Okay,
Let me see
clear.
my photo. Okay, Assalamualaikum. We start. Good morning to all lecturers and students. For the moderator for today, topic on the rural development, which the title Economic Challenges on COVID-19 Pandemic Crisis. Okay, we go to outline content. For the introduction, the first I would like to share the Malaysian rural area and their economics. The second is overview of COVID-19 pandemic crisis. The third about the challenges of rural economy. The last, the recommendation to impact. So, for the introduction, I would like to share what the definition of rural. So, rural refer to that our outside the urban area, urban as defined by the Department of and outside the local authority operation area. So this means the village in the urban area with a population of less than 10,000 people, but operation included in this definition. And then the rural area also include in the settlement, Feda, estate, and Chinese new village located outside the local authority. So, meanwhile, the rural economic definition based on the international level organization, rural economic is characterized by the primary sector and join several activities. So, rural economic is basically produce economic in the area. So, for the summary, rural economic for about the agriculture activities is the base agri-based like fishing, farming, forestry, livestock, and then another one is the non-activity activities, which is the industry and services. So for the scope presented today, I will be focused on the agriculture activities, a part of economic, rural economic. All right, next. So we go to the overview about the global rural population trend until 2030. The increase of the world population has brought the rapid process of the urbanization, and then the phenomenon of the people migration, rural people migration to the urban area, the experience around the world, and the urban population will be continue increase. The rural population and the rural population will be decreased. Okay, by 2030, the estimate that the 60% of the population live in the urban area, while the remain 40% live in the rural area. So for the Malaysian cases scenario during the 60 years from the 1950 to 2030, the rural population has decreased by almost 30% or 26.5% from 70%. So for the Malaysian scenario, population trend until 2030, the rural was almost 8 million people, equal to 0.8% compared to the urban population, 26 million people, equal to 70.2%. Expected the rural population growth will be significant decline in the future. Okay, so the percentage of rural population in Malaysia reduced from the 1970 until 2020, and in the 2030, population in the rural area in Malaysia show the problem in the population in rural area, and we will be shortage of the manpower of the rural area in the future. Okay. So the Malaysian rural economic scenario in 1970, the primary sector contribute a higher percentage of the gross domestic product or the GDP. Meanwhile, the third sector services only contribute only 26.2% of the GDP. The situation different now. On 2016, the third sector become the higher contribute on the GDP. Meanwhile, the primary sector we can see here but in 2014, the first sector contribute only 9.1% of the GDP, which employment involved only twice. So this show the agriculture activity unpopular and abandoned for the rural people. So reason why the youths did not contribute the primary sector, the sector agriculture sector is not unprofitable, and they have no much experience about this sector. All right. So we go to the overview of COVID-19 pandemic. So if we can see this country and the more than highest cases until the November 1. So they increased almost 10% cases, the new cases. By the way, the Asian country, the new cases almost decreased 10% until the November 1, and this means we hope that our country and our other Asian country will be recovered faster than we will recover. Of the COVID-19 crisis until the 11 December, we can see the new cases, almost 2,000 new cases, and it is the cases almost 70,000, and then this is can be treated our economy to reduce these cases. So workers and household affected number one, export demand, and then the weakness of domestic, and the third is lockdown policy or the movement control order. So with the three factors, there will be direct effect to the impact on the employees. So the employees can decrease their income and cost expenditure reduction, and will be affect the expenses during the MCO period. All right. So here the there are several of challenges of rural economic face on the pandemic. There are many challenges or the effect on the rural economic, but I have choose the main 5 only because we have done much time. First is economic regulation and the number 2 is market supply change disruption. Number 3 is strengthen food security and nutrition. The number 4 is localized food price and increase. And the last is about labor shortage on the farm and agriculture. So we go detail economic recession and lost income. The COVID-19 pandemic trigger of economic recession, which has result in the dramatic loss of livelihood and income on the global scale. So according to the World Bank estimate, almost 71 to 100 million people are likely to fall into the extreme poverty as a direct consequence of the end of 2020. So the resulting drop in purchasing power this population that were already vulnerable, such as farmers or the agriculture activity cannot able to sell the product, and then 46 distribution constraint because of the MCO or the movement control. There's 70% normal operation capacity. Next, about the threatened food security and nutrition. So when the pandemic faced the pandemic, sector, which is the agriculture in particular, was severely affected by the implementation of the MCO and strictly quarantine produce. Right? So when the lockdown policy take over, the threat of food security, such as the globalization, disruption supply chain, protection, will be increase the poverty and food insecurity. So for the world top security food countries in the world, the first is Singapore, and our country is ranked number 28. Is good for 2018. We just ranked in 40. Okay, so the localized food price increase. So the global cereal stock are not near record level, and world food commodity price overall fell into the initial month of the pandemic. So in the case of the rice, for example, price increase in Thailand and the US by 32, 35, and 10% between the February and mid-April 2020. And exporter anticipate the higher demand for the Thailand rice after the failure of exporter such as India and Vietnam both cut the value of the export of the item. So if left unchecked, the change or effect of this sequence of development could lead to global food price crisis and demand for the key item. Okay, the last is labor shortage on the farm. So Malaysia agriculture sector heavily depend on the foreign workers. If we see the foreign workers in Malaysia, agriculture, forestry, and fishing sector, they have a higher percentage of migrant workers. So the restriction on movement of people, especially agriculture and the technology 4.0. And then they must using the digital platform for their business, for agro-food business and e-commerce. The number 4 is maintaining, government must be maintaining the basic service in the rural area. And the number 5, strengthening policy on the agriculture and food security. And the last is support more diverse and resilient distribution system, shorter supply chains and territorial market. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Azal. Man. A brief bibliography on GS Dr. Nur Hisham. He obtained his PhD in Development Studies at Technical University of Delft, the Netherlands, on 2016. His area of specializations are institutional theory, sustainable development, environmental impact assessment, and social impact assessment. Now let us watch the video provided by GS Dr. Nur Hisham. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Dr. Nur Hisham, for the video presentations. Now that we are almost at the very end of today's session, I would like to record our deepest appreciation to all the speakers. As today is the last session for the lecturers webinar, I would like to give the floor to our program coordinator, Dr. Noraina, and Ibu Aprodita Emma Yeti, Head of Architecture Study Program, for the closing remarks. Over to Dr. Noraina.
Thank you to the moderator, Madam Anissa. Sorry for the inconvenience. Technical error today. I was very sorry to our counterpart in in UNISA. Okay, before start, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good day to everyone who participate in this international webinar program. Firstly, I would like to thank to the Prodi Architecture, Faculty of Science and Technology, UNISA, Yogyakarta, Ibu Aprodita Emma Yeti, the Deans of Faculty Science and Technology, Ibu Sari Wahyuningsih. She is here today as a presenter because she's the one of the program studies, especially to the actors of UNISA, Indonesia. Thank you so much. They are collaboration. Okay, this program an extension from MOU UiTM Malaysia, UNISA, Yogyakarta, Indonesia last year, which is in 2019. Okay. Secondly, I would like to thank to all the committee members of the 6th International led by Dr. Emilia Ahmad and Dr. Suharto Tariman, and all members of the technical committees. And there are, I would like to spell all of them. There are Dr. Muhammad Asri, Mr. Nur Hazlan, Mr. Izame, Ms. Sazlin, Mr. Azazi, Madam Sarafina, Madam Ashkin, and Ms. Norain, and who are very committed with their given to them, and make sure that program will run smoothly. And thirdly, all technical teams from infrastructure staff UiTM Perak branch led by Mr. Anwar Ishaq, Madam Jamila Madzain, Madam Nolina Hassan, Madam Wahida Abdul Razak, and Mr. Fauzi Ahmad Nawawi. And to the corporate divisions of UiTM Perak branch, Mr. Nur Akla Ahmad Khalil. And without them, the 6 of our webinar can be held directly to Web TV UiTM Perak branch. I am very grateful to them all. All right. Okay, during the 6 years of the webinar, there are so many obstacles and difficulties were during the fourth very critical to us, very challenging to us today, because there are so many technical errors, technical problems, because we have a big event at UiTM Shalam, which is a big clash event with UiTM Shalam. The internet cannot support the program, and we have to to the UiTM Inshallah, which is conducted the program. So I am very sorry to all the participants, to all the moderators, and to all our counterpart in UNISA, especially for today's event. Even though in the fourth and fifth event we also have a technical problem, but I think that can be solved within 30 minutes. But it's a long way to control the internet problem. But we can another, not in Monday. Monday is always a blue Monday, right? So maybe we can find another day which is a very smooth day, maybe on Wednesday or Tuesday, and not in Monday. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we are very lucky because the infrastructure technical has extensive experience in solving problems that arise. I would like to let all presenters and all moderators have made this program a success. For presenters, for all presenters, please write write a full article journal to face the challenging for 2021 next year, which is the collaborations of publishing high impact journal article. Inshallah, we can do it. I think we can do it. Altogether, it's about 24 24 journal we are trying to publish in next year. Especially the present ready for the journal article. All right, I think that's for me today, and I'm very thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Noraina. Okay, there's two questions arrived from the YouTube comment. Okay, first question is for Dr. Muhammad Firdaus Azali. I will read in bahasa Indonesia. Okay, mohon izin bertanya, bagaimana pengalaman observasi pada situs-situs Islamik yang skala luasannya kecil, peningkatan masjid kecil tetapi nilai historinya besar. Berdasar cerita masyarakat, belum ada studi dari ahli sejarah. Terima kasih. Dr. Muhammad Firdaus.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa, and then thank you for the question. In the context of Malaysia, Vanessa, in English or in Malay?
Any language.
So, kalau
Any
in
language you can use.
Sorry, Vanessa? Okay, in the context of Malaysia,
Any
all
language.
heritage sites can be supposed to be gazetted in order to make them being conserved, to be conserved. So if the site belum diwartakan ataupun belum digazetkan sebagai kawasan-kawasan warisan, so sepatutnya ada entiti atau NGO yang supposedly mendaftarkan kawasan-kawasan itu dijadikan sebagai kawasan warisan. So apabila kawasan itu tadi diwartakan sebagai warisan, so di Jabatan Warisan Negara di Kota of Malaysia, they will conserve and preserve the area.
Muhammad Firdaus. Okay, second question is for Dr. Muhammad Azal. Dr. Muhammad Azal. Okay, what are the techniques used to calculate the percentage of the economy disruption in the rural area in Malaysia, and does it applicable to all types of rural area?
Okay, thank you for the moderator. So for my presentation today, actually I would like to thank for the question. Okay, for the presentation today, I didn't use any technique to measure or to calculate the distribution of the economic because I just doing my research. Another Malaysian statistic data for the secondary data for my presentation. So when we call about the economic question, they have the difficult and they have statistic calculation for the population, and then we can for me for the strange time I don't have the special calculation for my presentation today. Okay, straight for the answer.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Muhammad Azal. There is only two questions. Okay, comes from YouTube. The next is for closing remarks from Ibu Aprodita Emma.
Okay, Ibu.
Ibu Aprodita. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ibu Jamila. I permit to use bahasa Indonesia. Okay. Is it okay?
Okay. Boleh.
Okay. Thank you.
Bisa.
Uh, Good morning, everyone. For all lecturers and our beloved students from UiTM and UNISA Yogyakarta. I wish you all in good health bahasa Indonesia. Terima kasih banyak untuk semua tim yang sedang mempersiapkan rangkaian acara webinar UiTM dan UNISA. Setiap pagi Pak Haslan selalu kirimkan saya persiapan di UiTM seperti apa dan saya sangat tersentuh. Terima kasih banyak untuk semua effort dan upaya yang sudah dipersiapkan. Alhamdulillah semua rangkaian acara sudah terlaksana dengan baik dan kami harap sekali di tahun depan kita juga tetap bisa melaksanakan kegiatan-kegiatan yang dilakukan bersama baik UiTM dan UNISA yang tentunya akan berguna untuk kita semua, baik all lecturers and all students. Terima kasih Bu Aina untuk semua supportnya dan semua tim terlibat, Bu Jamila, Pak Asal, Pak Firdaus, dan Ibu Kamaria and the others. Semoga kita dan sehat dan semoga tahun depan kita bisa langsung bertatap muka. Mungkin kami di UNISA bisa ke UiTM atau dari teman-teman dan mahasiswa dan dosen bisa ke UNISA, bisa jalan-jalan dan belajar langsung di site. Begitu dari saya, Ibu Jamila. Semoga kita semua dalam keadaan sehat dan dalam lindungan Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ibu Aprodita. Okay, to all audiences, thank you for joining and participating in today's webinar program. We hope we will meet again on other collaborations via webinar platform by the lecturers and students of UiTM Cawangan Perak and UNISA. Until then, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Semua.
Terima kasih.